So what we have is that we have two emotional generating beings. Now, of course, in her configuration, she's a pure emotional generator. He is, after all, a manifesting generator. That is, an emotional manifesting generator. He has manifesting potential. She does not in her design. Deeply for both of them, you can see that here is somebody who has the channel of intimacy. You know, for her to be intimate, for her to be reproductive is part of the strategy in her life. And yet, in order for her to have a relationship that's correct for her, that relationship has to be rooted in response. In other words, he has to ask her, she has to ask him. They have to be really sure in that. Now, she's a 1-3. Remember that when you're looking at the nature of cross-profiling, that the 1-3 is the most common of all crosses. That right angle is more common than left angle, 2-1. But that the 1-3 is the most common of integration crosses. Now look, in incarnation crosses, that first line personality, you know, it is a harmony to his fourth line personality, but it's very different. The first line is into pursuit. The pursuer pursued is their sexual strategy. And remember that all first lines can suffer from inferiority, can be very uncertain about themselves unless they have a strong foundation. You know, unless they have done their homework, unless they have really prepared and they know where they stand. And we've also seen that the reason that they are the basis of incarnating is that they bring with them the fundamental potential in humans to adapt. So you have a third line unconscious of the 1-3, and what that means is the moment they find that the foundation is not secure, that's the moment they become anarchistic. Think about it this way. She has a myth about marriage, like we all did when we were growing up. She has a myth about marriage. And she looks into marriage in the way that a first-line personality would. In other words, what really is this commitment of marriage? What does it really mean? It's a first-line theme. And all first lines, because they are beginning the process, want that theme to be valid. In other words, they want that there is a solid foundation. So once they're clear about the need for that foundation, they will enter into marriage. Now, when she enters into marriage, if she discovers that there's anything in the reality of marriage that is totally anathema to what the mythology has been, that's the moment that her third line unconscious comes out and she becomes an anarchist. Now, what the anarchist does, remember, is it doesn't build anything. She will not try to build up this relationship. She will try to tear it down. You see, the moment that an anarchist finds something that's wrong, they do not try to replace